Hey everybody, the following is an excerpt from the monthly Rahdo Roundup, and if you'd like to see the rest of the roundup, you can hit that eye up in the top right corner of the screen, or if you'd like to know more about the game, you can follow the link down in the show notes. And with that out of the way, let's talk about
Atlantis Exodus, which I've not done a run-through for, but publisher Capstone Games, they had a run-through on their channel, so I'm just throwing that on screen, link for it down in the show notes. This is a game where we are, leaders on the island of Atlantis. We know Atlantis is going to sink, and we are trying to save as many people as possible and rehome them to different places around. We're trying to build settlements in Africa and Mesopotamia and a third location. I don't remember where the third location is. We are trying to put workshops out there. So not only will they get out there and they'll be able to have a place to live, but they'll have a place to work and be gainfully employed. We are also trying to store our knowledge and stockpile knowledge so that we can share that with the rest of the world, so that not all of our technology is forgotten when our island sinks. So we've got a lot of story stuff we're trying to do, thematic stuff we're trying to do in this game, but how does it work? Let's see, here's a good spot right here. If you zoom in, which I think they're about to do on the board, this is a worker placement game. Before we move on, you can see here's the yellow worker, there's the red worker over there. And at the start of a round, you put your worker in the inner ring. And you take whatever resources are on that spot. Then on your next turn, say you went over here to the north thing and you picked up, hey, you got a scientist and a laborer, I think. Or maybe there was an engineer. I forget what the colors were. So I picked up a couple things and, I got some... Is that a purple book? I got some engineering knowledge, yay, which I'm going to need. Then on my next turn, because I'm in this spot, I will then move down to the middle ring, and I can go this way and get access to this or this, to either of these, or I can come down this way because you can see these orange walls. I can come down here and get access to this or this. So my next turn, wherever I chose, my next turn I have access to 4 other things unless they're blocked by another player. And say I come down here and I get a whole bunch more purple knowledge books. Then on the third turn, because I'm here, I'm going to be able to jump down to the third ring and take this, start building a pillar of remembrance, or come over here and get some gold, or I could come this way and go down to get looks like a workshop, or I could come over here, pick up a guard along the way, and this is a workshop, and I think there's 2 different workshops down here. So it's a worker placement game where the previous turn, wherever you ended up, opened up new opportunities for you on the subsequent turns. And we've seen games like this a lot, but here's where things get fun. I think if I unpause now, at the end of a round, the island is sinking. The land is changing right underneath us. And so the board is constantly updating and adapting. And then when we start a new round, it's a whole different set of paths that we are going to walk our way down, trying to figure out, get the right denizens of Atlantis, of certain types that we need, or get the knowledge, because before we send them off to the rest of the world, we want to train them. We don't want them to be regular laborers. We want them to be engineers. We don't want them to be just intellectuals. We want them to be philosophers or whatever it might be. And so when we collect them, and here's one of the players, you can see they've got this laborer, and then they moved away from that, so now I got to go to a different spot. Let's go zoom in on and see. Can we zoom in on somebody's board that's not quite so blown out color-wise? I don't think so. But anyway, these rows down here represent the different places around the world where we can set up new homes for our people, and workshops or agoras, and some other stuff that we can do tile laying down here. When we put our tiles out there that we've collected or paid for, we can get income and whatnot. But when we get the people, we put them on these tech trees, basically, where they can start out as a worker, but then they can work their way up to a level 2 worker, and then ultimately a level 3 worker if we spend more knowledge on them. And the thing is, eventually, whoever we got, whatever we train them to be, we want to send them to these locations down here. Let's go late in the game. I'm sure you'll see a whole bunch of stuff sent. Let's see here. If they will ever zoom back in on their own things at the end of the game. Well, okay, and yeah, you can kind of see, okay, here's a bunch of people sent to North Africa on this player's board over there. And you're trying to get the right types of people into the right locations because there's objectives to get certain workshops set up, which require certain people or certain technologies developed, all kinds of things. But, as we collect the people and the resources from, this constantly updating thing, we are then trying to deploy them smartly, upgrade them, and then send them out into the world where, amongst other things, things we're doing, area majority stuff, and all kinds of things. Long story short, it's a really good game. Very, very sharp design. A lot of fun. We are now to the point of my monthly roundup where I'm having to decide, this is right on the edge if I keep this one or not, because I would happily play this game anytime. It's fun from start to finish. There's really interesting decisions. And the rotating wheel, which might remind you of a game I covered years ago. I cannot remember the name of the game. It was basically, it was the idea of we're working our way down the side of a volcano. Folks, if you can remember it, put it down in the comments to let everybody else know about it. Oh, and here's somebody you can see they built some stuff in the different areas. They've started to send their people out to them, and they're still training other people to get them into position and all of that. So that's kind of giving you an idea of midway through the game how they've started to populate that board. But the crux of it, the fun of it is this, if I could just go back to it, this constantly updating worker placement board, trying to make those tough choices. Hey, I chose that last turn. That means I was planning on going to this other thing, but now that's blocked. Where am I going to go instead? That kind of fun. This is a fun worker placement game with a really great economic engine that the worker placement is driving. It's very thematic. And it's really, really great. Publisher DLP and Capstone Games, they knocked it out of the park. Jen and I were very impressed. Every time you play, there's going to be different remembrance pillar options, powers you can unlock, different technologies we can develop depending on what type of scientists we train before we send them off to the new world, all kinds of things. Really highly recommended. Again, go check out this run through from Capstone Games if you want to see it in action. And let me know if you'd like to see me do a run through. I haven't done one yet. Oh, that's a much better view. You can actually see this. This person isn't blown out by glare. You can actually see their board as you're trying to figure out where to set up the new. But then we went away from it. Regardless, it's a great game, and it hasn't gotten very many votes from my backers on Patreon to cover it. Maybe they'll have me cover it in January. I think it's really excellent. It's got a lot of fun decisions from start to finish. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It came in at number 12 of the month. Atlantis Exodus.
And thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. It makes a huge difference, believe me. But with that out of the way, if you'd like to see some more, over on the left, you can find a playlist of a whole bunch more Rahdo Rapid reviews. Up in the top right, there's the latest thing that's been added to the channel. And in the bottom right, you've got something YouTube recommends. Okay, folks, thanks for watching.